For the space dedicated to folk music, furnishings of traditional art and culture have been used. The 3 containers were made from the furniture of a Salumeria in Salento. There are paintings by Ezequiel Leandro and Eduardo Navone, papier-mâché and terracotta artifacts, a large tambourine with jingles, Neapolitan, but above all, there are illuminations and a casarmonica, typical of Puglian patronal festivals. In the center of the room is the Hungarian national instrument, the cymbalum, consisting of metal strings running across the trapezoidal body of the instrument and struck with thin mallets. Outside the showcase is a Romanian folk double bass with 3 strings, and a Slovakian contrabass flute called fujura, with a sweet and harmonious sound. In the lower part of the right showcase, there are zither, a kind of table harp, some of German origin and one from the 18th century with a horse-shaped head from Mantua. There are also wind instruments from the Balkans, including a gaita, an instrument similar to the bagpipe, Bulgarian kavals, and a low duduk, Armenian, made of apricot wood. On the upper compartments, we find a Campanian psaltery from the mid-18th century, which is played by plucking, and it is accompanied by all 10-finger plectra, 4 in brass and 6 in iron. Next to it is a French hurdy-gurdy from the mid-19th century, made by Paget for an important client. It features a body with alternating slats of maple and rosewood ink paintings, wooden sculptures, ebony and ivory inlays and friezes, as well as ivory and ebony keys. The hurdy-gurdy is an instrument played by turning the crank that makes the wheel, similar to a violin bow, rub against 2 singing strings and some drone strings. In the upper compartment, there is a collection of ocarinas, including one with 2 keys and a canella ocarina. In addition to the popular Sicilian and Sardinian flutes, and English slide flutes, there are 4 tabor pipes, flutes played with one hand while the other beats the drum. We also find bombards and sayaramel, including an 18th century Venetian bombard and an unusual instrument, an harmony cor, which belonged to the musicologist, composer, and Egyptologist Guy Bernard, who composed music for documentaries that preceded the screening of films by famous authors in the post-war period. Among the bagpipes, there are Albanian, Molisan, Calabrian, and Campanian instruments. On top of the container, there are 2 Puglian pudipu, friction drums with a terracotta body, and a collection of Trom di San Pietro, terracotta trumpets derived from Jewish shofars, used in Grottaglie during the Feast of San Pietro. In the central showcase, mandolins are displayed, a notable 18th century Neapolitan mandolin, with 16 strings, a Filano mandolin from the mid-19th century in Naples, and 2 18th century Milanese mandolins, one anonymous and the other by Fischer. There are also a soprano lute and a calashin from the 17th century, particularly rich in ivory, mother of pearl, bone, and ebony decorations. There are unusual instruments such as a plectrum and a mandolin lyre, which respectively resemble a harp and a lyre, a half-lyre mandolin, which combines the strings of both the mandolin and the mandola. There is a pochette mandolin, a kind of pocket mandolin, a Pyrenean walking stick ukulele with a handle carved in the shape of an eagle's head, and a Bolivian charango with a body made from an armadillo shell. On the showcase, next to a papier-mâché nativity scene, we find 2 bagpipes made in Teggiano for left-handed players, with the inversion of the pipes for the right and left hand, 2 tricobaliki, percussion instruments consisting of 3 wooden hammers, with the 2 side hammers striking the central one. Hanging on the wall, there are 2 frame drums called tamor, without jingles. In the left showcase, there are accordions and harmonicas, as well as an 18th century Milanese psaltery and a mellophone, built in Paris in 1840. This instrument is an accordion with a guitar-shaped body, inside of which are the 2 bellows and a series of keys on the neck that open the reed channels, producing the sounds. In this container, there are small flutes called flageoletti, similar to chamber octave flutes of French and English origin, a dulciana, shaped like a small bassoon, and a crumhorn, a curious instrument shaped like an umbrella handle. Additionally, there is an unusual cornetto with a bell shaped like a fish head.